Cusco was the capital of the Incan Empire. It was created in the 14th century by the Incan king Pachacutec, who extended the empire along the entire west coast of South America. Right now I'm in front of the main cathedral, which was built on Inca ruins. In fact, the entire city is built on Inca ruins. The city itself was made in the shape of a puma, which is quite interesting. Here we are in the Plaza de Armas, which is the center of Cusco. In 1983, Cusco was declared a World Heritage Site by Unesco. If you look around, you can see why. There are some very narrow streets in Cusco. I think you have to be a very good driver.
You may be wondering what is in this finely decorated little vase. Well, let me open it. Inside you will find some cocoa leaves. Here in Cusco, we're very high up with elevation. Therefore, you can get elevation sickness, which comes from not having enough air. But if you have some cocoa leaf tea, this compensates for it, and you can go about your business. Isn't that cool?
Inca rule came to an abrupt end with the arrival of the Spanish in 1533. Francisco Pizarro came into the city and began stripping the monuments of gold and silver and killing vast numbers of the Inca. The Spanish were to remain in power. So here we are at what is left of the Coricancha temple. As you can see, what the Spanish did is they built on top of the Inca temples. This was one of the most spectacular Inca temples in its heyday, covered with gold and silver that was stripped away by the Spanish the minute they came here. It is reported that mummified bodies of deceased Inca kings were kept here and brought out into the sunlight each day and offered food and drink. That sounds kind of crazy, but interesting at the same time. In this replica of an Incan gold wall monument, we see many of the symbols that were very important to them. The sun, the moon, rainbows, men and women, the tree of life, the puma, and of course gold. In this garden, we see a bird, a snake, and a puma, which were three of the sacred animals for the Incas. Originally, this garden would have been filled with white sand from the coast and full of golden statues of many different animals. Hi everybody, today we're up above Cusco at the Sacsayhuaman ruins. This means sacred falcon in Quechuan, but for you and me, it's easier just to remember sexy woman. The Sacsayhuaman fortifications are in a zigzag pattern for a reason. If somebody were to attack the walls, their flanks or back would be exposed to the people defending. Therefore, it was a brilliant way to build the garrison. In 1536, Sacsayhuaman was the site of a bitter rebellion. Manco Inca recaptured the fort and laid siege to Cusco. Unfortunately, he was pushed back by the Spanish conquistadors and many of his men were killed. Some of these granite stones weigh up to 350 tons and are up to 17 feet high, yet they fit perfectly symmetrically. You can't even put a knife blade in between some of the rocks. Quite an amazing engineering feat. What's interesting is I have run into a group of Quechuan people in their traditional costumes. Quite beautiful. Right now I'm overlooking Cusco and you can hear the music in the distance.